Is what's the biggest struggle that you've made it through?
Okay. So that would be pretty much currently. I know you probably would think it would be something in my past like that, but it's not. It's something current. Um, Getting back into singing. That has been a big struggle.
Hmm.
And that's been a lot of self-reflection and a lot of, wow, a lot of stuff. You, yeah. So I used to sing back when you guys were little, around the 2000s, late 90s. I learned how to sing better to where I could actually sing in front of people because I had an issue singing in front of people, a real big issue.
Hmm.
Didn't think I could do it, didn't think I should do it, um, because I wasn't like so and so who has a great voice, right? So comparative.
Hmm.
Um, I felt like I always fell short. So why would anybody want to listen to me? Right.
Yeah.
And I remember even telling people this, if I'm not any good, well, I'm not going to make somebody suffer to listen to me. Right.
Yeah.
So, but I have sang all my life in my basement, out on the playgrounds. I mean, I love singing. So, um, so I did it for a season. Um, and I did it in church. I did solos, you remember all
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
stuff. And then about 2007, my voice started coming and going. And then it just went. And it was gone for a long time. It was just real hoarse. I was scoped so many different times. They just said it looked red and swollen, no nodules or anything. So
Hmm.
nothing anybody could help me with. And I would still sing Josh to sleep when he was little, even though I had three notes that were hoarse, but I could actually sing three notes. And I remember him saying that he said I sounded so good. He was so sweet. That's probably going to embarrass him, but anyways, that's your younger brother. For
Mm.
people who don't know,
Yep.
what 15-year gap?
15 years. Yeah.
15-year gap. So, um, yeah. So I decided. I always believed that deep down that I could get it back if I would just rehab it.
Mhm.
It's not that easy. Rehab is not easy, especially when nobody's telling you how to do it. That's been my struggle.
Yeah.
Nobody could tell me what my problem was. I stumped a lot of people. It just I know my larynx was doing something weird. I was evaluated one time a couple of years ago, and she said it was jumping, and I'm like, I'm not making it do that. I could hum, and I could talk, but when it came to singing, it was all over the place. Like one phrase I could do just fine and perfect, and then the second I'd go and repeat that verse, gone.
Huh.
So it was very frustrating.
Yeah.
Very frustrating, especially since nobody could help me. So I just felt confirmation to do it in church again a couple years ago. I think it's a couple years ago now. It's been 2 years. I think so. Um, and I warned him. I mean, it's a small, worship team, just a husband and his wife and me
Uh-huh.
singing. Other people in the band, of course, but it was just us. And I warned him, and I let him know I really want to work on this and I want to try. And I told him, I said, I'll pull the mic away when I know it's coming, if I can feel it coming. As soon as I hear it, I will just, pull it
Yeah.
away. And nobody's ever heard of anything like that. I can't even tell you what it sounded like or what it did. It was just like a weird roll, and it was gone, or like it was like something in the back of my throat was actually blocking the air from coming out. It was really strange.
Uh-huh.
And so I asked him one day, because I would always sing behind him, and I said, "Do you know what? I mean, have you heard me?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, I've heard you." Because
Uh-huh.
he could hear me when nobody else could, because I
Yeah.
pulled the mic away, and it was rough. But I've been working on it, and it's getting better. But man, I've had those have been the biggest struggles. because I used to sing solos, and I'm still willing to try. And I guess you could say, I have embarrassed myself in front of church, trying to do a solo and an epic fail.
Hmm.
I've never done that before publicly. I always had it all together
Yeah.
before I would go, this is something I couldn't control.
Yeah.
Uh, that was a hard day. That was a really hard day. Um, because I was really wrestling with stuff when I got home. I just didn't understand what was happening. I wanted to quit so many times, but deep down inside, I knew I couldn't quit.
Yeah.
And the more, since I'm out there, I'm seeking more help, right?
Yep.
Rather than, this started in 2007, and I'm just now starting to sing again. How many years, of thinking that I'm going to work on it. But when you're on the hot spot, then you're going to start working on it.
Hmm.
So, and that's what I've been doing, is really working hard at it. I get a little tense, and I know that's what it is. I'm tensing it up when I do a solo. And then I can't get the air quite through as well as I want it to. Um, so I'm still working on that, but that has been one of the biggest struggles, I think, right
Yeah.
now,
And
because of the frustration.
yeah. Well, I think it's also scary for, two reasons, right? One is, the thought of it could come on at any time.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't feel very good.
No.
And then the fact that it's totally out of your control, that probably also doesn't feel very good.
Yeah. And so you don't know, it almost, I compare it to somebody losing a limb, when it's something that you do and it's something that you
Yeah.
use constantly, and then all of a sudden you can't do it. And I don't know. It was so strange, but I think it has so much to do with, those nerves. Obviously, there's had to be a nerve issue with my larynx jumping like that. I've had to retrain it. I've had to literally retrain all these things, and I got connected with the right people online, through their Patreon. And Eric Arsenault, if I'm saying his last name right, unless I butcher it, sorry. He's fantastic, and I do his Patreon, and I'm learning a lot. So, and he's also, reinforcing the fact that if you think that you're going to learn something in 1 week and you're going to be great at it, he's like, you're mistaken. These are things that you have to practice. The more practice you do, the better you're going to get, the faster it's going to happen. And there's just a process of so many things that you have to learn. Once you get done with this step, let's focus on this one thing. Let's focus on this. And then when you got that down, okay, let's work on this.
Yep.
And so it is a process, and it will always be a process. We all, as I'm aging, my voice is going to be a little bit different than somebody that's just fresh, and it's, hormones are going to make a difference, and just there's a whole lot of different factors that maybe, and I can't compare myself to where I used to be. I have to make sure I'm not necessarily. I don't want to do that. I want to be the best that I can do now.
Yeah.
I want to just move forward, keep moving forward.
Yeah, like compare yourself to who you were yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about getting better each day.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
real stiff when I used to perform. I had to do it exactly like they taught me. I wasn't free at all,
Yeah.
because, I didn't know how to improv. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff, because it had to be perfect, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is good. It's all good for me. I'm learning way more harmonies because I have to fit into a different range.
Yep.
So, and now I know how to warm up the higher range versus the lower range, and I know how to be more consistent.
Mhm.
So, somewhat.
Yeah.
I'm still working out my little bubbles here and there
Mhm.
with the tension. That's a big thing. How do you relax when you're nervous? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So you do the best you can, and you don't take it personal. It's not your identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you had some good points there too. Like when we think about it, I think especially in today's world, we want everything fast.
Yeah.
right? You were saying like, oh, I want to just work on this a week. We get a little impatient because we kind of get everything
Yeah.
quick
Yeah.
these days, right? But to your point, I think consistency cannot be overlooked
Right.
in just about everything. It just takes time and just work over time, right? And things kind of, you kind of improve on those things. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.